Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Priestess Talk. I am Priestess 𝓙𝓷𝓷𝓮𝓻. Today we have an incredibly special and amazing discussion for you. I was talking to my husband, and this was a very interesting conversation because my husband grew up in a religious background. He grew up in a background where he went to church. He was told he had to worship as a Christian, actually technically a Lutheran. He had to walk that path, and it never felt right with him. It never really resonated with him. And I started thinking, there's this concept of religious shame, which we have mentioned and talked about before in other priestess talks and in other discussions that we've had in our Discord and in our inner sanctuary. But talking to him this morning about that, I realized that there's an entirely different perspective on it. So there is this concept of religious shame. And this is where you feel shame for who you are. You feel shame for the person you are. You feel shame because you do not fully align with the path that you are told you need to walk. Now, I thought it was just the whole religion does promote shame. It does try to shame you. It does shame you. There is an element of shame that comes from walking a spiritual path. So shame is taught. There is certain aspects of shame. We are taught of, from what I understand, I was not raised Christian. I did not grow up Christian. I am not from a Christian household. Christianity was never a part of my path. It was never a part of who I was. But from what I understand, you are taught to feel shame for your spiritual path. You're taught to feel shame for being a sinner. You're taught to feel shame because of original sin. Now, for a person who is supposed to walk a light path, for a person who is supposed to be a Christian, that is where it ends. It's okay, original sin, this is my shame. I worship Jesus, or I worship and I walk this path. I worship this path, and this is a part of it. This is a part of this path, but I am in alignment with the light. I'm in alignment with the angels. I am in alignment with these energies. So this is just a part of this journey. I realized talking to my husband that for people who naturally have dark inclinations, who are meant to walk a darker spiritual path, who are meant to walk with demons, or meant to walk with the dark currents, that shame is amplified. And it is amplified because you are told, okay, you need to be a certain way as a Christian. This is who you are. But deep down inside, you're not aligned with the light. You're not aligned with God. You're not aligned with Jesus. So there's something deeply inherently wrong with you. There is some element of you that is unnatural and wrong. And that creates a deeper component of shame. It creates a deep-seated element of shame, which will actually hold you back in your life. It will actually prevent you from really shining, from really stepping into who you are, from really being the person that you are. For somebody who is a Christian, who walks that path, who walks in the light, who embraces that aspect of spirituality, and it is completely aligned with them, it is a part of them, that shame is only a minor portion of it. They are in alignment with their truth. They are in alignment with their path. But for somebody who is actually aligned with darkness, who is actually aligned with demons, that shame is deep. It is deep-rooted, and it is destructive. It can cause such destructive aspects within the self. You won't feel confident. You won't feel like you are capable of manifesting and creating the world around you. You feel like there is something wrong with you, like there is something inherently wrong with you. And talking to my husband this morning, I realized just how deep this is, how deep this shame goes. It has held him back in so many different areas of his life because he feels like there is something wrong with him. He knows deep down he's aligned with demons. He knows deep down he's aligned with the demonic divine. But growing up, he felt such shame for who he was and such religious pain and trauma because he couldn't express who he was. He couldn't walk the path that was true to him without feeling like there was something wrong with him. Working on shame, working at really understanding who you are. If you are somebody who grew up in a religious environment and have that shame, but you are naturally darker, you've always been darker, then from a child, you have basically been programmed and told that there is something wrong with you, that you should be ashamed of who you are, that you are not Right. But that couldn't be further from the truth, because you are just naturally aligned with darkness. You are naturally aligned with the demonic divine or with any of the other currents of darkness. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that you don't conform to that aspect of divinity. You don't align with the light. And it's so destructive, especially as children, to basically think that deep down at our core, there is something wrong with us. There is something that is morally and fundamentally wrong with us. And people who walk more religious paths, they naturally just shame people who are different without even realizing it. I remember when I accidentally got sent to a Christian camp when I was, oh, I was 15. I think I was 15. Yeah. I had a pretty good solid sense of who I was. I connected with darkness. I was very aligned with my spirituality at that point, but they went out of their way to shame me. They went out of their way to put me down. They went out of their way to make it known that I was not one of them, and that I was somebody that should be, that who I was shameful. I was shameful. I had somebody even go so far as to be like, why are you even here? Why are you even, or like, I had someone go so far as to say, well, you're really not one of us. You're not one of us. The isolation, the shaming, it was so ingrained in my entire experience. I will never forget it. I will never forget how they treated me, and I will never forget how they made me feel. And this is, I've just met them. They're strangers. I don't even know them. I have a family that loves me. I have a family that accepts me. And here these strangers are judging me and basically trying to shame me for who I am. I can only imagine what would happen for somebody who is naturally dark, somebody who is naturally aligned with the essence of darkness. What would happen to them if they were born in a family like that? If they were born in a family, the pain and the shame and just these feelings, it's traumatic. This is, religious trauma is a real thing. I am not attacking the path of Christianity. I'm not attacking the actual path of Christianity, because I believe that there are people who are meant to be Christians, who are meant to walk that spiritual path, who are aligned with the light, and that is what fuels them. That is what powers them. That is what empowers them. That is what invigorates them. That is important to them. What I'm talking about is the people on that path, the people who make it their personal mission to judge others, to shame others who are not like them and do not conform to who they are. Somebody who is naturally aligned with the darkness, somebody who is comfortable in the darkness, you cannot force them to conform. You can't force them to align with something that is not their truth. And it does cause a lot of damage. It causes a lot of damage and a lot of pain, and a lot of situations where people feel like they cannot express themselves, they cannot be true to themselves, and they cannot walk the path that is right for them. So oftentimes when people come, oftentimes people who naturally have a curiosity to darkness, who are drawn to the darkness, but they've grown up in these environments and they feel shame for who they are, there is a transitionary period where they have to let go of that shame. They have to undo what was done. They have to undo that programming and accept themselves. Self-acceptance, self-love, self-appreciation is so important on this path. You have to be comfortable. You have to be able to look at yourself and be like, no, I'm enough. I am enough and I am worthy, and I should be able to walk the path that is right for me. Another problem is that there's not a lot of paths out there that align with darkness. There is plenty of spiritual paths that are aligned with the light. The light is very heavily promoted and it is very heavily talked about. But darkness, the dark aspects, especially the darkness of working with demons, we're starting to see more paths that are aligned with darkness rising. We're starting to see darkness being accepted as the beautiful and sublime, mysterious force that it is, not a force of evil. That's one thing we are very strong in our, that is one thing we very heavily teach. Darkness is not evil. It is not synonymous with evil. It does not equate evil. Evil and darkness are two different aspects. Can evil be found in darkness? Absolutely. But evil can also be found in the light. In fact, one of the most evil forces in the world is piety. Piety and self-righteousness. That has caused so much harm and so much damage throughout our history. So evil can be found in both the darkness and the light. But the darkness itself is beautiful. But the darkness itself has so many sublime and incredible components. It is mysterious, it is alluring, it is incredible, it is creative, it is brilliant, it is amazing. And for those of us who call the darkness home, when we connect with, When we connect with it without shame, when we are able to connect with it and embrace it and just exist within it, we are rejuvenated, we are invigorated, we find ourselves and we find our truth. So we are seeing a rise of paths that connect with darkness. And now we're starting to see a rise of the paths that connect with demons, and the demonic divine is a brilliant aspect of darkness. It is power, it is empowerment, it is confidence, it is self-assurance, it is self-respect, it is self-love. It is walking with demons, beings of dark divinity who inspire us, guide us, mentor us, empower us, help us on this journey. And for those of us who are called to walk with demons, this call is very strong. This is where we find home. I have had a lot of discussions with Christians on here who say, oh, if I just found Jesus, I would find home. No, I've already found home. I don't need that path, and I know I don't. Because all the emotions that you're saying you get from Jesus, I get from Satan, I get from the demons, because that is where my heart is. That is the path that I am aligned with. I am aligned with the darkness. I walk with the demonic divine, and the demons are my connection to divinity, dark divinity, beautiful, sublime, incredible dark divinity. If you work with the light side of divinity, if you work with the angels, if you work with God and Jesus, and you find power in that, is your home, that is your strength, all the power to you. There are many spiritual paths out there, and if that is your truth, all the power to you. But mine is with demons, and there's a lot of other people who find that. There's a lot of other people who their home is with demons, their truth is with demons, and they don't know how to connect. They don't know how to walk with demons. They don't know the first step to take. That is one of our covenant's missions, is to show people how to walk with demons, to show people how to connect with demons, how to embrace the essence of the demonic divine, and also how to release shame that comes from feeling darkness. The shame of knowing that you are connected to darkness because you were shamed as a child, or you were basically told that who you were at your core is wrong, that the beings you feel the most connected to is wrong. That is what we teach. That is what we want to share with the world. And so I extend this invitation to those of you who are aligned with darkness and who want to learn how to work with darkness. Come join us in our Discord. Come join us in our Discord, and come join our inner sanctuary where we do talk about connecting with darkness. We talk about working with demons, and we talk about how to live empowered lives while walking through the darkness, because the darkness is our home and it is our truth. So if you feel a calling of darkness in your soul, but you don't know the first step to take, come join our Discord, come join our inner sanctuary. In our inner sanctuary, we have weekly coaching calls every Monday where we will answer any questions that you have. And we have mini classes and group meditations and a space where you can learn about your darkness, learn about your truth, and also understand who you are and understand who you are. So please come join us, come join our inner sanctuary. We would love to see you there. And if you are curious about demons, if you have felt the call of darkness, if you feel the call of working with demons, come join us. Come join us and let us help you on the next step of your journey. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for this Priestess Talk. If you love our YouTube channel, want to support us, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you have any questions, drop them below in the comments section. I am going to be starting making videos answering these. We would love to hear from you. Until then, I hope you have an amazing and demonically inspired week. Bye, everyone.